Welcome to Golden Storytime, where every story touches your heart and reminds you that love still exists in the smallest moments. Today's story is titled The Letters She Never Sent. It's a tale of love, regret, and destiny. So, sit back, relax, and feel the emotion in every word. Part 1. The Beginning. Ayesha was a quiet girl, the kind who preferred books over parties and sunsets over selfies. In her final year of college, she met Ahmad, a confident, smiling boy who could make anyone laugh. At first, they were just classmates, but slowly, something changed. A smile became a conversation, and a conversation became a memory. Ayesha voice. I never told him how I felt. I thought maybe he already knew. Part 2. The Hidden Feelings. Days turned into months. Ayesha started writing letters to Ahmad. Letters full of love, dreams, and feelings she could never say out loud. But she never sent them. She kept them hidden inside an old notebook. Her secret world of what-ifs. Ayesha voice. Maybe one day, I'll be brave enough to give him this letter. Part 3. The goodbye. Before she could gather the courage, Ahmad left to study abroad. He waved goodbye, unaware that someone was breaking inside. Ayesha smiled, holding back tears, whispering to herself, Take care, Ahmad. Maybe destiny will bring us together again. Part 4. The years later. 5 years passed. Life changed. Ayesha worked as a teacher now. One day, while cleaning her desk, she found that same old notebook. She opened it and smiled at her own handwriting. Before she could close it, a familiar voice said Ahmad softly. She turned. It was him, standing right there, smiling the same way he used to. Part 5. The Reunion. Ayesha shocked. Ahmad, you're back. Amma? Yes, I came to find you. I don't know why, but I never forgot you. Ayesha handed him the old letter with trembling hands. Ahmad reading. You wrote this. For me? She nodded silently, eyes full of tears. Ahmad smiling. Then let me reply to it with the words I never said. I love you too. Part 6. The ending message. Sometimes, the letters we never send still find their way to the right person. Because true love doesn't need perfect timing, just a little bit of courage and fate. Thank you for listening to Golden Storytime. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more emotional love stories. See you in the next one, where another heart will speak again. Have you ever loved someone from afar, your heart speaking a language your lips couldn't form? This is a story about a love like that, a love that whispered when it couldn't shout. Ayesha was a quiet girl, the kind who found worlds within the pages of books and saw poetry in the colors of a sunset. In her final year of college, a new character entered her story. Ahmad. He was her complete opposite, a whirlwind of confidence and laughter. A boy who seemed to carry sunshine in his pockets. He could command a room with a single joke, while Ayesha preferred the quiet corners. From the moment she saw him, something shifted in Ayesha's world. He'd be holding court with his friends, his smile infectious, and she'd watch from her usual spot in the library, a small smile playing on her own lips. He was like a song she couldn't get out of her head. Their interactions were small, almost insignificant to an outsider. A quick hello in the hallway, a shared laugh over a professor's quirky tie, a moment their eyes met across a crowded cafeteria. For Ahmad, these were likely just pleasantries. For Ayesha, they were everything. Her feelings for him grew into a secret garden inside her heart. But she was Ayesha, the quiet girl. How could she tell the sun he was the center of her universe? So, she did what she did best. She wrote. Late at night when the campus was asleep, she poured her heart out onto paper. She wrote letters she would never send. Dear Ahmad. They would begin, "Today you smiled at me, and for a moment, the world stopped spinning." Or, "I saw you helping that stray dog near the engineering block. Your kindness is as bright as your smile." Each letter was a testament to her unspoken love, a collection of moments only she treasured. She'd described the way his eyes crinkled when he laughed, the passion in his voice when he talked about his dreams of being an architect, the gentle way he treated everyone. These letters were her confessions, her silent conversations with him. She kept them in a small, ornate wooden box tucked away under her bed, a treasure chest of unspoken emotions. The box grew heavier with each passing week, filled with words too precious, too terrifying, to ever be spoken aloud. Then came graduation. The air buzzed with excitement, with tearful goodbyes and promises to stay in touch. Ayesha watched Ahmad from a distance, surrounded by his family and friends, his future shining as brightly as his personality. She clutched the strap of her bag, her heart a tangled mess of pride for him and sorrow for herself. This was it, the end of their unwritten chapter. She saw him one last time. He gave her a friendly wave and a wide grin. "All the best, he shouted over the noise. She just managed a nod and a weak smile, her voice lost in the lump in her throat. He was moving to another city to start his career. She was staying behind. The distance between them, once just a few feet across a classroom, was now stretching into hundreds of miles. The years that followed were a quiet blur for Ayesha. She became a librarian, finding solace in the silent company of stories, much like her own. She traveled, she made friends, she built a life, but a small, hollow part of her heart remained reserved for Ahmad. Sometimes, on lonely nights, she would open the old wooden box. The pages were yellowed, the ink slightly faded. Reading them was like stepping back in time. The feelings were as raw and real as the day she wrote them. The box was a bittersweet reminder of the girl she was and the love she never dared to claim. She often wondered about him. Was he happy? Did he build those amazing buildings he dreamed of? Did he ever think of the quiet girl from college? Then, one rainy afternoon, about a decade later, fate decided to write a new chapter. Ayesha was curating a special collection at her library when a man approached her desk, seeking a rare book on architectural history. She looked up, ready to assist, and her breath caught in her throat. It was him. Ahmad. He looked older, more mature, but the same confident smile was there, the same light in his eyes. He didn't recognize her at first. "Excuse me," he began. "I was told you might be able to help me." "Ahmad," she whispered, her voice barely audible. His eyes widened in recognition. "Ayesha, wow, it's been a long time." A slow, warm smile spread across his face. "You look great." "A librarian? Huh, that fits." They talked for hours, catching up on a lost decade. He was an architect, just as he'd planned, in town for a new project. He was divorced. He shared quietly, a hint of sadness in his eyes. He confessed that despite all his success, he'd often felt a strange sense of loneliness, a feeling that something was missing. Emboldened by a courage she didn't know she possessed, a courage a decade in the making, Ayesha made a decision. That evening, she invited him to her home for coffee. With a trembling heart, she brought out the old wooden box. "There's something I need to show you," she said, her voice shaking slightly. She opened the lid and handed him the first letter. He read it. Then the next, and the next. He sat there, under the soft glow of her lamp, reading the story of their shared past through her eyes. He read about her secret smiles, her silent admiration, her unspoken love. With each letter, his confident facade melted away, replaced by an expression of pure, unadulterated wonder. Tears welled up in his eyes. When he finished the last one, he looked at her, his voice thick with emotion. "Ayesha, all this time, I had no idea." He reached across the table and took her hand. "I remember you," he said softly. "I always thought you were mysterious. I was too intimidated to really talk to you. I always felt like you were in a world of your own." "You were my world," she confessed, a tear finally escaping and tracing a path down her cheek. In that quiet living room, surrounded by a decade of unspoken words, their two worlds finally collided. The silence that had separated them for so long was now filled with understanding, with regret for the past, and with a hopeful promise for the future. The letters had finally been delivered. This story reminds us that love, even when it's silent, is never truly lost. It has a way of waiting, of biding its time, until the moment is right. It teaches us that sometimes the most profound connections are the ones that take the longest to be heard. Love will always, always find a way. Thank you so much for watching this story unfold. If it touched your heart, please give this video a like and subscribe for more tales of love and life. We'll see you in the next one.